Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Buckeye Sports Center. Today, I'm really excited to go over with you guys the 2026 Barletta Cabrio 22 QC. Uh, Barletta has been a great brand for us here at Buckeye, and the Cabrio series is really it's kind of the series that's been around from Barletta has been one of our best-selling series since Barletta's been in business, which is only about 7 or 8 years now, maybe 9. But basically, the Cabrio sits right in the middle of the Barletta lineup. So the Aria is a model series they came out with a couple years ago to give them a little bit of a lower price point boat. The Cabrio is a step up from that. It's kind of got a lot of those luxury elements, a lot of the luxury hits that you find on their like higher end Lusso series, but kind of down in an economical package. In this particular setup, tri-tune 200 horsepower, some different variations, but this one's going to be the quad seat as we see as we get inside. But the key with Barletta, the key when you're comparing Barletta to other brands is truly please look at the list of standard features on this boat. So, when I talk about the Aria, which is the lowest in Barletta, that's another thing I'll say. Look at the list of standard features is what's on that boat. There's probably $10,000 worth of features that's typically optional on an Aria that you'd have to make you'd have to pay for that option from another brand. With the Cabrio, same thing applies, but there's like another 20 upgrades or features on top of the Aria that you can get or is included on the Cabrio that's not even on the Aria. So you really look at all those things, and we'll go through a few of them. I'm not going to be able to go through all 20 in this video, but you'll really see the difference as far as, you don't see this big long option list. When you go to the build a boat on a boat, on their website, you might click on 3 or 4 options, but that's pretty much it because the boat comes with everything else. So, from docking lights to pop-up stainless steel cleats to the, beautiful fencing package with the high fences. This is a new upgrade for 2026, just adding a little bit of luxury appeal. Doggy dock view in the side door and the front door. That's just a small list of the features that you're going to find on a Barletta Cabrio. So we're first going to look on the 22 Cabrio. We're going to look at the transom area. Barletta is known for their extended aft deck. So if you actually look at the extended aft deck, which is extended out about 2 feet, on an Aria model, it's extended out about 1 foot. On a Cabrio model, it's about 2 feet extra. That makes this boat feel, other competitors might call this boat a 24 footer because the actual length of the deck is about 24 feet or close to it. However, Barletta measures the tube length, which on this boat's around 22. So this boat feels, and really from an interior space perspective, is really closer to 24 than it is to 22. So a lot of times when you're doing comparisons to other brands, you kind of have to compare the 22 foot with a 24 foot or at least a 23 foot from other brands. So this particular boat set up with the 200 horsepower Mercury V6 engine. This is kind of our most popular size, especially for the 22 foot Cabrios. You get really, really good performance on this. Barletta, the one thing, if I were to say there's one thing that kind of sets them apart from everybody else, it is the ride quality. Because of that VIP technology, look at other videos that talk about that because that is such a key feature. This boat is just so smooth on the water, so solid, so it just feels different. A lot of times with pontoons, they're big tin machines, right? They're aluminum. So a lot of times you get a lot of vibration, you get a lot of that tin sound. With a Barletta, it just feels smooth, feels solid, even if you're chopping through a little bit of waves up on Lake Erie. At our Huron store, we sell boats pretty much exclusively that go on Lake Erie. You're going to find excellent performance. The boat is a little bit heavier than others, obviously. Just it's got more hard, heavy duty materials, more pieces parts in the boat. That makes it feel that solid feel. But this boat with a 200, mid to upper 30s, depending on the load, the conditions and the people. So really good performance for what most people need. You can opt on the Cabrio series on the 22s and 24s all the way up to a 250 horsepower. So that gives you an optional upgrade if you wanted to. Most people on this model, a lot of times we'll sell the 22 footers with the 200s, and then the 24 footers, they kind of shoot between 200 250. Either one's really good performance for what most people normally want to do. But let's take a look inside. So captain's chair area, obviously super important on all boats. And Barletta just does an awesome job like they do with all their models with this Cabrio. Plenty of leg room. I mean, I've got tons of leg room. I'm 6'2". I can even slide this boat seat a little bit more forward. Tilt wheel here. We've got the 5-inch screen GPS, stereo control, wireless phone charger standard on this model. Really nice, conveniently controlled throttle handle. Again, sometimes the throttle handle's up on the dash and it's kind of awkward to use it. This one's really nice, conveniently located off to my right. just again, one of those standard features that we talk about. The power top is controlled here, so that the bimini top goes up and down by power, not manual. So again, that's a standard feature on all Barlettas. This particular boat's got an upgraded interior lighting system, which with RGB lights, so I can control the RGB light. I guess the little whole palette of colors right here with a dial. Again, really convenient, really nicely located. The other thing I really like about this dash, kind of race car inspired, but it doesn't have like an ugly plexiglass type windshield on it. So it's kind of like got that clean, simple look, you know, that doesn't have that cheap looking windshield like a lot of boats do. So I really, really like that. Again, little areas for cubby, cup holder storage, that type of stuff. Obviously digital dashes, GPS is all included. Also, since this is a Q model, we've got two captain's chairs, captain and co-captain. I also already raised up the table there, so that's a pop-up table. So perfect if you're kind of in that serving mode. If you wanted to, you could actually pivot that chair to the side so that person can have leg room, but kind of a perfect serving area for you know, if you're bringing sandwiches or chips or something, you know, on the boat, that's kind of not in the way. You don't have to get anybody to get up, or you're not losing space in the middle walking through or walking around. It's kind of in a good convenient spot there. And then obviously we've got a tri-tune. So we've got the big ski locker, really deep, nicely finished off storage in there. Obviously got its own bilge pump, stuff like that on this boat. And then new for 2026, we saw it in there, but this has got the new, what they call, like, it's a new cover system that is very, very slick. Definitely watch the videos on the cover system because it's way easier, way better cover than what they've had. Really any company's ever had on a pontoon boat, especially as a standard feature. So make sure to watch the video on the new cover for 2026 with Barletta. As we move to the bow, I'll really dig into the furniture right now. As far as the bow seats, we've got little armrests, which is really cool. Also, when I really look at the little bit better lighting up here, stitching, the hardware, everything's just really, really nice. You can see that it has its self-contained, you know, so impervious to water. So if you get water inside the boat, you're not necessarily going to get water inside the compartment. Its own kind of has its own water management system. Again, really nice stitching, two-tone upholstery. We talked about the doggy dock view door, so we've got that in the side. We've also got it in the front, but the reason why I like it in the front is when you're boarding or you're actually docking the boat, you can actually see through that as from the driver and actually see the dock in front of you. So you're always not sure if you're 2 feet away, 3 feet away, but you have good visibility there. Even when the door is closed, a lot of people would say, oh, I got to open the door so I see where I'm going. You don't have to worry about that here. So in general, again, 22-foot boat feels like more like a 24-footer. A million standard features. Please look at the website, compare, and see what that's got going on, because that's a huge difference in this model compared to other brands. And then again, great performance with a tri-tune. That's how we're going to sell almost all of them. Most people are going to get a 200 horsepower in this boat. We talked about kind of mid to upper 30s, depending on the load of people, that type of thing is typically your higher end speed. You can opt for a 24-foot version of this boat, which is going to have, I believe, longer front seats. The back's going to be pretty much the same. And then on the 24-foot or the 22-foot, you can opt for a 250 horsepower engine. So, you know, hydraulic steering is going to be part of the 200. If you upgrade to the 250, you're going to get a power steering system. So some differences there depending on what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. But overall, awesome boat, kind of a good reasonably priced luxury boat. So these boats, depending, they're all going to be pretty much, unless you go crazy with something with options, you're going to be, well under 100,000 typically for these. So, all the Cabrios with the 200 and, even with the 250, you should be kind of in that under $100,000 range. So, really, really good price point on this boat for kind of like that luxury premium. Getting a lot of those luxury fit, finish, and feel, a lot of those luxury standard features, but at a reasonable price. That's why, quite frankly, it's one of our best-selling boats. Also available in a couple other configurations, including the Ultra Lounger, as well as on the 24-footer, the Ultra Entertainer that has a little table built in on the port side. So thanks for watching with us at Buckeye Sports Center. For more information, view our website, buckeyesportscenter.com. Subscribe to our YouTube page where you can see videos like this one and many others. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the water.